SampleServe. Thank you for joining us. This is SampleServe Masterclass Wednesdays. I'm Joshua Paul, and I have with us Russell Schindler, CEO, founder of SampleServe. I've been told not to mention the amount of years experience he has in the environmental services industry, so we will not say that. Okay. And please don't look under the founder CEO where it's stated. Today, we are going to talk about sample ENV and some tips and tricks. We do this every Wednesday. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave a message in the chat. Even after this is done, you can leave messages in there and we get to it, start a conversation. And if you know anybody that this would be useful to, make sure you send this link to them as well. And we're going to get right into it. So what we like to do here on Wednesdays is we like to provide tips, tricks on our app. We like to bring in experts from the field, from the industry. And we also like to give news on the industry as well, kind of let you stay ahead of the curve in the environmental services industry. And today we got a special one for you. We're going to be covering the Sample ENV app as we normally do on Wednesdays. Sometimes we'll cover the lab app or Sample H2O. But we're going to be covering some very important aspects of getting projects started, some stuff in the field, and the overall benefits of our reporting generation platform. So let's get into Russell, you got anything to add? Let me let you talk for a little bit.
No, just that we're trying to, we're always actually adding new features and functionality to our app. So that's really part of this program, is to kind of update you on things that we're doing, adding to the platform. But then also, we use it so often and teach people to use it so often that we don't necessarily, show people the new functionality. We kind of just kind of, it's like you can't see the forest through the trees sometimes.
Right.
So that's really, we're just backing up here a little bit and then teaching people little tricks and, little ways to make their job easier, just little shortcuts, if you will.
Right.
So you really optimize on the functionality of the platform.
Yeah. And typically when we onboard new customers, one of the major, stopping points that we find when customers are setting up a project is getting their field data and their sample locations added to a project, because that's one of the first things that you start out with.
Right.
That's like step one when you're creating a new project. You got to get some just a little bit of information in there so you can get rolling with the field app. So one of the nice things about the SampleServe project management tool is it's free to use for anybody. Anybody can create an account and start planning sampling events today. And we like to emphasize that it's a one-stop hub for environmental professionals, because you're going to be able to connect your lab. You're going to be able to add all your teammates, your field techs, your even your clients can be added in there. Yeah. And once you get your lab connected, the lab can see what's going on. They'll know when events are planned. So it's kind of like, we like to say, like it's like the Amazon of environmental services application. But let's show you how to get some information added to your new project. So I have a blank project here. I just named it JP Test Demo 214. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah.
So in a new blank project, you have no events planned because you have no site locations. So you can't plan an event without sample locations first uploaded. So you'll go over here to site info, and I just have groundwater under this one. And let me show you this file that I have here. Now you can download a sample CSV file, and this sample CSV file is gonna look exactly like our upload format. And I have here a file that I have matched to our upload format here. So this just has a list of wells. It's got top of casing information, GPS, latitude, longitude in there, estimated depth. Now what I can do is, if my format doesn't necessarily match exactly, I can click this data importer and import it from there, and I can match the columns a little bit better. But
I'll just add that it's got to be a flat file, and it's kind of a common format that any lab or anyone who knows anything about data will say. But it's basically just one tab spreadsheet with all the data column headers at the top.
Right. Yeah. Make sure it's one tabbed.
Yep.
And so I just drag and drop that file onto this drag and drop here. And then now you can see I have well locations automatically uploaded. I have the GPS locations there. And if you are uploading your well locations with GPS, you can go in and you can create a GPS map right off the bat. Yep. Just because it'll go in, it'll give you like a Google Map style map that essentially has, all your well locations already input on there. So you can see all the well locations automatically uploaded, or you can upload it.
That was generated just now in the 5 seconds. So
yeah, we just made this map. You can also upload other maps, and you can manually place your sample locations. But this is a great starting point for when you're getting a project off. And then we can also upload field data as well. I have a field data file here. Let me show you what it looks like. So this isn't complete all the way just for the sake of time, but once you have this matching our template, you can also just drag and drop this as well. And the nice thing is, once you get your field data in there, if you have, water levels and stuff like that, you can go in and use that map that you created, and you can start making flow contours. You can start making, water level graphs and pretty much anything off the road from there. And then now that we do have sample locations added, we can go ahead and do
schedule events.
So let's schedule for today. And then here's all my well locations. And then I can add tests from my connected laboratory here. I can assign a user, which is very important, especially if you have many, many users or many, many site locations in your app, which those projects in your app can start building up. So you like to assign users so they can find them faster and easier. Now, one of the biggest advantages of this is, I just planned an event, a sampling event, almost in 4 or 5 minutes here, Russell.
Yep. That's the big thing, is like getting started, and everything's very simple. The first one you do might seem a little complicated, a little confusing, but after you've done 1 or 2 of these things, it'll be a breeze, and you'll be amazed at how fast it can happen.
Yeah, so, and the nice thing is that once you get an event planned, if you're doing, say, quarterly sampling, you can just copy that planned event and just change the date.
Yep.
You can change the name of the event. You can assign a different sampler to it.
We have lots of clients that have their sampling schedules planned out for the next 2 years already. Mm-hmm. So, and it's nice for everybody involved, because then they can start planning, and labs can, if you've got your lab selected already, they can see the bottle orders that they need, and the demand that's going to be coming every quarter. Exactly. So there's all kinds of benefits to being able to plan way out ahead.
Yeah. So once we hit save and we have tests added, we hit save, we can push this to the Field app. Now, any user that's added to that project and has their Field app downloaded and logged in, they're going to see that project on their Field app that they can download. They can open it up and begin sampling in the field. And one of the biggest issues that we're trying to solve is just saving time in the field. And one of the easiest ways to do that with the app is finding sample locations, because Russell's been in the field, for most of his life, and he's got stories to tell you about having to, look for sample locations in the field.
Yes, I've got lots of horror stories. One of the big things is like there's 2 ways that help find samples. One is the GPS coordinate, right? Like we were talking earlier about a site down in Kokomo, Indiana. It was about a 40-acre site. They probably had, 60, 70 wells on that site that they had to gauge, and they had like 2 or 3 people there. But it was always they were just collecting groundwater elevations, and it was always a 2-day job. I went down there to kind of teach them how to use the app. It was a new client, their important client. And I went down there just to make sure everything went well. And what has always been a 2-day job for them, because they were trying to find these wells. They're all flush mount wells in a 40-acre plot of land that just had grass, right? And the grass was 2-3 feet tall. So if you're walking around with a paper map trying to find your locations, you literally had to step on it. And that's what they had, paper maps. You had to practically step on the well to find the well. Well, with our application, it went from a 2-day job to a 1-day job, because they were able to walk right to the locations within 2-3 feet of it. They could see it. And so they didn't spend hardly any time looking for wells. They were able to walk right to them and then open them up, collect the elevation, and then move on to the next one. So That's probably the biggest factor. And then we're also able to take photographs. Okay, built into the app, you can take as many photographs as you want. And what I typically would do is, so I know this site right here, it's actually way up north, and there would be lots of snow on this site. And so, in the wintertime, there would be a 2-3 inch packed layer of ice on the pavement there. And the concrete was loaded with rebar, so even a metal detector wasn't a much help. But I would pull out the photographs, and I would take 2 photographs, one looking this way, and then I'd go 90 degrees to the other direction, take another photograph. And in the snow, I would literally draw a line up things in the background. You see that white pole, and you can see some traffic lights in the back. I would draw a line that direction, go to the other photograph, do the other. And then where those 2 lines crossed, that's where the well was. It saved me a ton of time being able to locate things when there was snow cover. It also just helps, just find things in general. You'll see a big tree and you'll be like, all right, looks like it's about 4 feet from that tree. And you can walk over to the tree and find it real quick. So the location stuff is probably the biggest benefit in time savings to field personnel. And then obviously the other parts would be the printing of the labels and also the, automatically generating your chain of custody for you. So you're not sitting in the parking lot of a laboratory, trying to frantically scribble out your chain of custody, 10 minutes before they close. So, so there's several, factors that save a ton of time. And then, as you mentioned earlier, it's actually free. So all the stuff we just talked about, data upload, project scheduling, it's all free. Not a free trial. I want to emphasize that. It's not a free trial. It is free forever.
Yeah. So. And I like the fact that, I'm not here at this site right now, but if I was by this sample, it would show me on this map, just like how Google Maps.
Yeah.
So I would know if I'm walking this direction, I'd see myself getting closer to it. And then when you get close, you can use the pictures that you've taken beforehand, in previous sampling events. If it's your first time sampling, you're not going to have photos, but I highly suggest you take photos for that first time. And then you can grab the GPS when you're there by clicking this grab GPS button. And
just like most maps, you can pinch and zoom and kind of, drag it around so you can really zoom into where the location's at.
Right.
So.
Perfect. I think we covered that well.
Yeah.
So the next part is we really are trying to emphasize nowadays. We were talking to a client of ours, and he was showing us some of the maps that he generated, and he was making some pretty cool stuff, and he was just ecstatic about the fact that he was able to make a isochemical contour map for, what was it, Russell? 5 different analytes, and he was able to put those all next to each other to show, the differences between, which concentrations are where. And he was just ecstatic with the fact that he was able to make those in, probably a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
As opposed to what he used to be able to do, where it would cost, a couple grand and he'd have to wait a week for that to get put together.
If I recall, I think I was in that same meeting. He was showing us like they had a diesel spill and a gasoline spill, and some of the plumes, there were separate spills, I think different, responsible parties, and they're showing where they overlapped and everything. So it was really cool how he just kind of laid everything out, and he was able to get it all done and, present this evidence, if you will, to his client in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. So, we like to say, our report production capabilities will cost you about 10% of what most firms are using. If they're using GIS staff, if they're using, any kind of AutoCAD, any kind of, real expensive software that only a few people in the office know how to use, generates bottlenecks. Everybody knows that you're just waiting on your report to come back. So what we really like to emphasize is that this is the huge time and money saver when it comes to a project savings. We like to say that, our clients save about 40 to 60% on a project, which is, this is what we're hearing from our current users right now. And you can see here, the biggest time saving is the report preparation. Now we do charge for reports. That's what we get you to use the app for free, use the project setup for free. But if you like our reports, you can use our reports. We typically only charge around $10 per sample.
Yeah,
we don't charge
that's based on the volume. We'll actually, if you got a real small volume, it might be a little higher than that. If you got a good amount of volume, it's going to be, could be substantially lower than that. So
right. So yeah, I mean, a 10 well sample report right here costs on SampleServe, it would cost on average around $1,600, whereas
no, it would cost $100 to us, and a total project cost, because you're going to cost
we're going
field people. The overall savings is about 40 to 60%, and we've got lots of clients that will attest to that. That they're able to get things done a lot faster. I routinely demonstrate in demos that I do that I can generate a full suite of graphics, all the tables, graphs, groundwater contours, ice chemical contours, data box maps. I can generate the full suite of graphics in under 5 minutes. So now you still got to write
something like this on the right here.
Yeah, exactly. I can do all of those graphics because we've created this ability to save each individual graphic. You can have as many graphics as you want, and you save your preferences for each graphic. And then when you get new data, you just upload the data. The preferences are all saved. You come in there and just generate it again.
Yeah.
So once you've got the first setup, from that point on, it's just super efficient.
Right. Yeah. Huge times there.
Simple. We've designed this so that you don't need a third-party expert to create these graphics. You're going to be able to do them all yourself.
Yeah. So how do you get started in SampleServe, Russell? What's the first steps?
Go to SampleServe.com. You'll see a sign up button.
Just click that started button
and get started.
Yep. Yeah. Create your workspace, start adding your team, start uploading data, and you're on your roll.
Yeah.
So we do have a partnership program. We are partnered up with firms in different categories of environmental services. We're trying to create a network that incorporates every aspect, from supply equipment rental to laboratories, and also, most importantly, consultant engineer firms. So right now we have a growing list of partners. This isn't all of our partners right here. This is just a good general list of some major partners that we have. Eurofins is on board for using our lab app and offering their own version of our field app. Antia is nabbing big projects across the nation with using SampleServe as their digital partnership and equipment. And In Situ, as well as some other supply and equipment rental companies, are looking to integrate so that you can rent and buy equipment while you're setting up your project. So we'll probably within,
I don't want to put a date on it, but within a couple of months, we'll be able to import data right from their meters. Also, they've got a lot of great set of water quality meters and they have their own app, but you'll be able to import the data from their devices into our app automatically. So field people have been asking for that for quite a while now, and we'll have that probably rolling out here in a couple of months. Yeah, that's going to be pretty neat. You just set up your water meter, and you'll hit go, and your low flow sampling calculator built in the field app, and there you go. You got all the information already in there. Yep, that's going to be pretty neat. Everything will populate automatically. So that'll be fun. Having to type it all in. So there's some other meter companies we're also looking at partnering up with as well. So yeah. So we like to say, we're not just a software provider; we're a software partner. We'll meet up with you if you'd like every 2 weeks or so and go over what do you like, what don't you like, what do you want to see, and a lot of our new advancements and improvements in the app that you see rolling out almost every week is from us learning about people in the field doing the work and asking questions and seeing what the market wants. Yep. So I think we're going to finish it up there. I think we're ending right on time, Russell. Yep. So make sure you give this a like and give this a share on your LinkedIn or on your Facebook, and
And look out for our next week. So we're going to be having some guests join us in a few weeks as well. And I can't wait for that because it's a new client that is very happy and very excited about what their capabilities are. So look out for the next ones. And thank you very much. Russell, anything to add?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right.